All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're here with four-time world champion powerlifter Claude Boyer. He's also a firearms instructor and a security specialist. So, Claude, I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about where you're from. A little bit about kind of what made you, and tell me a little bit about growing up where you grew up at.
Okay. Basically, like I said, my name is Claude, and I grew up in Abbeville, Alabama, which is a very small community in Southeast Alabama. Um, of course, I went to Abbeville High School, and basically, growing up, it was you basically small town living, limited resources and stuff like that. So, but at a young age, I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Like when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to be a professional athlete, but I didn't know whether I wanted to play football or basketball or whatever. But I ended up finding weightlifting. So I got into weightlifting when I was 15, and by the time I was 17, I weighed 60 pounds, but I was benching like 350 in high school, and so like I was strong for my size. And then as I got older, when I got I think in my 20s, I moved to Dothan, Alabama, and I started working out at Gold's Gym. And then they had a posting about a powerlifting competition that was going to be hosted in Hartford, Alabama. So long story short, with that one, my very first competition, I ended up breaking like four world records in my very first competition, and then the rest just went from there.
Oh wow, man,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Um, so when you were in high school, now did y'all have like a weightlifting team, or do you have like somebody to kind of show you the ropes in high school?
Nope. We didn't have a weightlifting team. We had a weightlifting class, but we didn't have like no actual team. It was kind of like PE almost. And we didn't really have a we had, I think it was Coach Varner was a teacher in that class. I didn't really get no instruction on how to lift. Basically, what they did was they wrote the workout on the chalkboard, and you basically just did the workout on your own kind of type deal. So I was more or less self taught. I
Okay,
didn't really
okay,
learn about forming technique until I was like in my 20s, and like I started getting personal training by a guy named Hammer. He was one of the most popular trainers in Dothan at the time, and he kind of took me under his wing and showed me like proper forming technique.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So when was the first time you realized that you were just stronger than the average person? Like, were you like, well, I don't know if you
Mm,
with your peers or when
yeah.
was the first time you realized, man, I'm stronger than most of these people?
Well, when I was taking a weightlifting class, also on a chalkboard they had the numbers of the strongest lifts in the school or whatever. And at the time, I think it was the two top lifters was Elliot Kempsey. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, we used to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
him
playing
L. Yeah, yeah.
football as
hmm
well.
Yeah, he was like the strongest dude at school. And then also, I think right behind him was Red Man Sampson.
Yeah,
He was second in line. So like I kind of chased those guys, and like I started comparing my numbers against theirs because like they weighed about I think between 230 and 250, but I weighed 165 pounds, and I was putting them close to their numbers. So I was kind of like
yeah.
chasing those numbers. Like that was one of my main motivations. I wanted to be one of the strongest guys on the board.
Okay, so those guys were probably like 100 pounds, close to 90 to 100 pounds bigger than you,
Yep.
and your numbers were close to theirs.
Yep. I
Okay,
think what was I trying to remember? It's so long ago. I think my squat and my deadlift was like within like 30, 40 pounds of them. Nah, L, he always had the better bench press because he was benching like 400 pounds. I didn't get it to 400 pounds until I was like, I think 18 or 19.
okay,
Yeah.
wow, wow.
But I was benching like 350 at 160, which was still crazy at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just say for instance, I'm gonna give a scenario. Had at that time at your school had a weightlifting team.
Mm.
Do you think you could have been kind of successful, just high school with a weightlifting team, maybe?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
For sure,
Because
for
like
sure.
back then my motivation was just like just being the strongest guy in school, and plus two, like I figured the girls liked it too at that age, walk around being muscular, the girls liked it, so that was my other motivation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right about
Mm,
that.
mm, mm,
So I know coming along the way, you mentioned a couple of guys, couple of names, but
mm,
who was like a major influencer, mentor, coach, or somebody that kind of helped you along? Can you talk a little bit about maybe a
mm.
person that might have told you the ropes a little bit?
Yeah, because I also used to work out at the Abbeville gym right there by where the Dollar General used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Phase Fitness, what I think it was called. But
yeah,
anyway, I think I was around, I want to say 17 or 18, and a guy used to work out there. His name was Michael Lingo. I don't know if you know Lingo. Uh,
yeah,
he was one of the main people who put a fire up under my butt, is because like my goal at that time, I always wanted to be able to bench press 315. Like no, yeah, yeah, no, 17. I'm sorry, 17. Yeah, because this is before I was a bench 300 pounds. I think I was like I think I was like 280, 290, something like that. But my goal was at that time was to be able to bench press 315. He used to come in there every Monday. I remember like it was yesterday. He would take 315 and do it for like 10 reps and made it look easy. And like that, when I saw that, that just lit a fire up on me. I'm like, I want to do that one day. So a long
yeah.
story short, I started chasing him, and I think I want to say probably about um, what was it? It had to be like 8 to 12 months later. I pushed myself so hard, I got to the point where I surpassed him because like at the time I think I was bitching like 280, 290, something like that, but I did get to 315. But then when I got to 315, I kind of leapfrogged to like 350 and 360. And I think I got around 360. Me and him was like neck and neck as far as like bench pressing or whatever. And then I just hit another spurt, and I think 2 or 3 months after that, I was the first person in that gym to bench 405.
Wow, man,
Yeah,
that's major.
yeah, and I
Wow,
did it weighing like 160. I was like 165, 166, I think at the time.
wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
for that
like,
small size too. Woo.
yeah. Like Lingo, he really pushed me to be that next level strong. Because like I chased him, and I used to admire him so much, and he showed me what real strength really was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome, man. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So just from from your childhood, man,
Mm-hmm.
what's one lesson that kind of stuck with you? Even nowadays that you kind of think about, like, one of the lessons that you learned, even whether doing with dealing with weights or just in
Mm-hmm.
general in life, what's one lesson that kind of stuck with
Probably from like my background, I was born with spinal bifida. Like I wasn't supposed to be able to walk. So
you? Wow.
but I ended up walking earlier than most babies walk. And I wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to live past 18 because that's another thing too. Like the life expectancy of somebody who was born with spinal bifida is only 18 years old, and I'm 40 today.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's a
Yeah.
blessing.
But the biggest takeaway I would say from that, I would say is it showed me how to overcome adversity. And how
Okay.
like don't make excuses, make it happen. That's my biggest motto in life. Like don't make excuses, make it happen.
Okay. Hey man, you ought to get that on a t-shirt or something, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, don't make excuses, make it happen, man. That's a
Yep.
good one. So I'm gonna ask you another question, man. So how did you really get into powerlifting, man? How did you get started with a career like that?
Well, basically, like I was saying earlier, when I moved to Dothan, I did that competition. And like I said, my very first competition, I ended up breaking like I think it was 4 world records. And I just fell in love with it. Like I knew I was strong, but I didn't realize I was that strong until I started competing and started comparing myself to other people. Because like I said again, growing up in Abbeville in a small town, and I was born with spinal bifida, I always felt like I was lower than everybody else. But then
Yeah.
powerlifting gave me that I guess that level. It made me feel important. Basically, it made me feel like somebody, and I just like fell in love with it. Like um, trying to remember. I did that first one in Hartford, and then my second competition, I won a state, and that was in January of '06. And then June of '06, I won my first national title, and then 3 or 4 months after that, I won my first world title.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah,
man, that's
yeah.
awesome.
So like, yeah, in my first year of powerlifting, like I went from I became a world champion my first year of powerlifting, and I had like at that time I think I had 7 or 8 world records at that time in my very first year of
Wow.
powerlifting. Mm,
Wow. So let me ask you this question now. Is there anybody in your area that had that same level of you for as winning a state championship, winning a world championship, and anybody around that area that had ever did that before?
nope, nobody. Mm.
Never been done. Now, is anybody doing it now? Do you know?
I'm not sure about now. I haven't heard anybody, but back when I was doing it, like because I started competing when I was 20. So in powerlifting they have what's called a junior division. Junior division is between 20 to 23, and after 23, you go into what's called the men's open.
Okay.
So in my first year of powerlifting, I was putting up the same numbers as a professional men's open.
Wow.
in my very first year. So like I was like that's how I got the nickname Phenom. It's because like I
Yeah.
was pretty much like ahead of my time.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah, people
amazing.
start calling me the Phenom.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So tell me this, man. When you
Mm,
first won your first championship,
mm,
your world championship, your
mm,
national championship,
mm.
how did that make you feel, man?
I mean, it felt amazing. I mean, you almost feel like a rock star because like when the meet is over, everybody wants to talk to you. They want to shake your hand and they want to meet you and talk to you and stuff. And I can tell you another story. Like this is crazy. This is probably like my third year in powerlifting. So like at this time, I was already like a two-time world champion. But this was like before YouTube and all this social media was popular. This is back when people still had to like read magazines and stuff like that. But the craziest story, I remember like it was yesterday. I was down in Louisiana. I think I was in New Orleans, and I went out to dinner. So we got a dinner and everything. We ate, and then when the waiter brought me the check, I gave him my credit card. He saw my name on there, and he just freaked out. He was like, "Oh my God, you're Claude Warrior!" And he wanted to like shake my hand. He wanted my autograph. And me being a small, me being a guy from like a small town like Abbeville, like it shocked me. I was like, "How do you know me?"
Yeah.
like I never met him before. It was wild. It was like a rock star moment in the sense. Like he actually knew who I was. He knew like all my championships that I won. Like he
Wow.
legit was following me. And like I said, this is before social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was
so it was
hard to
like it
follow
was
people
crazy.
before that.
Yeah, I think that was back in like 2007. I think I want to say.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah,
amazing,
it was
man.
nuts. Yeah.
That is amazing. So let me ask this question, man. You got a lot of guys out here that's lifting, man, and so what separate the guys that are just good and guys like you that are just great? What's the difference? Is there like a
Um,
technique? What's the difference?
honestly, obsession. That's the best way I can say is obsession because like back when I was doing like anybody knew me at that time, like that's all I cared about. From
Yeah.
the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, it was weightlifting. It wasn't nothing else.
Oh,
Like, like even when I had girlfriends back in the day, they knew not to call my phone at a certain time because I'm at the gym.
yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
just like super dedicated. Like it was just that's all. It's really just obsession. Like you got to be almost obsessed with it, and that's what separates the good from the greatest. Because like yeah, you could be strong and put that time in, but if you want to go to that next level, you have to be like obsessed. You have to be like Kobe Bryant was. Like you have to obsess over it.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
awesome, man. I hear that from a lot of great athletes, man. They
yeah,
talk about the time and the effort and the mental,
hmm
obsession about that particular sport.
yeah.
So tell me this, man. Is
Mm.
there any time that you felt like giving up, or just man, I just can't go no more, or any time during your career?
I did probably after I won my third world championship, I kind of got burnt out because it was just like I was at the point to where it's like I did everything I wanted to do, I accomplished all my goals, I hit all my numbers I wanted to hit stuff. So I was kind of like, why am I still doing this? And then I don't know, it just I think I was 35. Yeah, I was like 35 or 36, and I was like, you know what? I want to win one more world title. So I kind of felt like Tom Brady when winning the second. I was like, let me just win one more, just to
Yeah.
prove to myself I still got it. And the
Wow.
funny story about that, what year was that? That was 2022. So yeah, I had to look at the plaque on the wall to figure out what year it was. But
Yeah.
it was in 2022. I did my last world championship, and I ended up not only winning another world title, but I also broke the sub masters world bench record, and I won overall best lifter
Oh man, that's
in my
awesome,
very last meet. Yep.
man. That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So tell me about maybe a time that you had one of your most intense training sessions ever. Like where you just really went hard.
Um, probably when I won 2011 Kings of the Bench. Now, Kings of the Bench, for the people who are not aware, is basically like the Super Bowl of a bench person. Like to even go to this competition, you have to be invited. You can't just go. You have to be ranked in the top 10 in the world to be even invited. And at that
Wow.
time, I was tied for third in the world, and I had to compete against the number one and number two guy in the world, and I beat him.
Oh man, that's amazing.
But I had to literally train my ass off. Like I've never trained like that before in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good. That is
yeah.
good, man. So just based on your everyday mindset, what do you carry into in every day in your mind sometimes, man, when you're thinking about all the stuff that you've accomplished? What kind of mindset do you carry every day?
Main thing I always thank God because, like I said, without God, none of this would have been possible in the first place. And my biggest thing that my motto that I carry my entire life is hard work and dedication. Because my formula is hard work and dedication always equals success. And
Yeah.
that's something I carry with me every single day.
Oh man, that's amazing, man. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, put that on a t-shirt also, man.
yeah, yeah.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. So I want to ask you this, man. I'm gonna ask you a little bit about your background in
Mhm.
security and firearms. So how did you get your go from your athletic background to got into being a security specialist and firearm instructor?
Yeah, with that one, I think I was in my early 30s. And I had a real conversation with myself. I'm like, I can't do this forever. I can't do powerlifting forever. It's like, what's my next phase in life? So basically, I always loved guns and always shot guns my whole life. But then I seen a posting about the Abbeville Police Department had a reserve program. So I signed up for the reserve program, and I did that for about 3 years, and then I started getting into security. And what made me get into it just the fact of I had to figure out what was my next phase in life.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So what is the biggest misconception people have about firearm safety? What is the biggest thing that people talk about, and it's really a misconception about firearm safety?
Yeah, the biggest thing is people think that guns are just inherently dangerous. Like they think if a gun just sitting on the table, it's gonna magically blow up or something like that. Where I tell people all the time, the gun isn't what's dangerous. It's the human element. That's what makes a gun dangerous, and then also human intent. That's the true danger of firearms. And also, when it comes to firearms, the only time they really are truly unsafe is when they're in the hands of an untrained person or a person who doesn't have actual gun knowledge and stuff like that. And that's why I'm glad I'm also a firearm instructor. I get to teach like beginners and even intermediate people how to properly handle firearms and how to shoot them and this, that, and third.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when working with firearms, if a person, just starting out using a gun, something like that, what do you preference someone get into if it's for like safety purposes and things of that nature? You think they should get into the handguns first, or get into the
Yes.
automatic weapons first, or what do you think they should get into first?
Definitely the pistol because the pistol is more practical for like everyday life, whether it's home defense or concealed carry. But also, pistol is actually a lot harder than rifles are. Rifles are a lot easier to learn and to use than a pistol is. So definitely pistol for sure.
Okay, awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I also want to ask you this: when a person says responsible gun ownership, what does that look like
Mhm.
to you? A responsible gun owner.
Well, it's a few things actually. One is actually getting training, get proper training education, so you know how to safely handle that firearm and how to effectively use it. If God forbid you have to actually use your firearm. Also, not being negligent. Like don't just leave your guns laying around. Keep them locked up. Keep them out. Keep 'em away from like kids and stuff like that. And also, like, don't be playing with your gun, like pointing in unsafe directions, stuff like that. I think like training and education is the biggest thing in that element because I think if more people have more training and more education on firearms, you won't have so much negligence in a sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, man. I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
you this. This is probably a crazy question.
Mm,
Do you think we should have maybe? I'm a school teacher. You think we should maybe
mm,
have a little small class for maybe people in school that where they'll learn about gun safety? Since like I'm an educator and we
yeah.
have usually kids that die from gun violence, maybe
Mm,
3 or 4 kids who die from gun violence every
mm.
year. So do you think that might help a little bit if we taught a little bit about that?
100% because for two reasons. Well, where I live in Tennessee, the governor actually signed into law putting gun safety in all the schools. So they teach that now. Also, when I was in high school, we got taught gun safety as well. So that was a really good element. And I feel like if you teach kids at a young age the positive sides of firearms and firearm ownership versus just all the negative stuff, I think the social climate won't be as bad as it is right now. Is because like prime example, I've been shooting guns since I was 7 years old, and I've been a gun owner since I was 12. Like my grandfather gave me a 22 when I was 12 years old, and it's like it wasn't locked up. It was in my closet. I had full access to it. But two things about that, like back when I was like 7 and coming up, I was always taught like proper firearm safety, how to not put a gun in an unsafe direction, how to respect firearms. So I was taught that at a young age. So like when I did become a gun owner at such a young age, it wasn't I wasn't thinking about shooting no schools up or hurting anybody or anything like that. It was like I was always taught to respect on guns, respect human life, and just how to be safe with firearms. Like me being safe for the firearm is like just natural. It's just as natural as breathing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's because I was taught at such a young age. So like as in my adult life, it was like I was already way ahead of the curve.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but I 100% think it should be taught is because, like I said, you can't just give kids or anybody just the bad publicity without giving them the good publicity. You got to have that
You're right.
balance. Yeah,
You're right. You're right
yeah.
about that.
Mm,
So let's think about it, man. What are some of
mm,
the safety mistakes, top safety mistakes people make when they're at the range or when they're practicing? What are some of the things
mm.
that they mistakes that they make?
Three things. One is keeping that finger off that trigger. That's number
Yeah,
one. If
yeah,
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And also, like a lot of beginners, they like to like point their guns in the wrong direction, like that, turn around with the gun in their hand or turn side to side. Like nope, like keep the gun down range.
yeah.
And probably the third thing I would say is not properly you know, I would say not having a proper holster for their gun. That's another main issue. Like everybody they would want to buy like a nice pistol, but have like a $10 holster. Like no, that doesn't work. Your gun might fall out or something, or whatever, something goofy might happen. Like yeah, that's probably the biggest thing
Yeah.
is like not having the proper accessories and gear to support your firearm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense, man.
yeah.
So let's think about this, man. I know, like I said, you in the field a lot of times,
Mm,
doing security work.
mm,
How did someone stay mentally sharp in that field where, any little thing can cost a life? How do you stay
yeah.
mentally sharp?
One, me personally, I would say energy drinks. That's number one. Make sure you got your caffeine, keep you alert. But also, you just have to be that type of person. You have to be like vigilant. You have to like practice situational awareness and like just always keep your head on the swivel. That's probably the biggest elements that you want to implement when you work in security or even law enforcement.
Okay. Okay.
Mm,
I'm gonna go back to a little bit of, talking about motivation and discipline.
mm.
So how do you stay disciplined on days when you really don't feel like training? How do you do that?
Sometimes I like to watch some motivational stuff on YouTube or like listen to like some my motivational songs, and also just I keep telling myself like you're a world champion, and people are always looking at me and looking up to me, so I have to be that role model, and it just clicks, and I just get in gear honestly, because I
Okay.
always tell myself all the time like people are always watching you for like whether it be motivation or inspiration, so like I want to be that person to provide that inspiration and that motivation.
Awesome, man. That is
Mm,
awesome.
mm.
Another question I want to ask you, what is one daily habit do you think like everybody can use just daily that they should do?
Honestly, exercise. Because I
Exercise?
mean, yeah, and you don't have to do power lift. I'm saying just like basically like get on a treadmill. You know what I'm saying? Do like some machines, like just do or calisthenics. Like I think everybody should have like some sort of exercise regimen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So let me ask you this question, man. How do you deal with fear and doubt? How do you deal with those two things?
Um, with fear, I would say I look at it as pros and cons. Like I always tell people the best way to get over fear is to realize, okay, if I don't face my fear, what are the consequences of me not facing my fear? Especially like with me working security, I can't afford to be scared. Is because if I get scared and don't do my job, people could potentially lose their life, and I can lose mine. So it's
Yeah,
like I can't get in that headspace of being scared or being fearful. I have to like just suck it up and just like I got to do my job. I got to do it to my highest capability.
most
Yeah,
definitely, man.
yeah.
Um, when Let me ask you this question too, man. When you think about uh being your own superhero, what do you
Mm,
think that means? I know a lot of kids
mm.
and people look up to you. What do you think that means? You being your own personal superhero?
To me, that means like every day when you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror, you tell yourself, I'm finna be the best version of myself. And also, not only I'm going to be the best version of myself, I'm going to be a better man than I was yesterday.
Okay,
That's how I
awesome, man.
look at it.
Awesome, awesome. So let's think about it, man.
Mm,
Over your years and all the things that you've accomplished, and all the championships that you won.
Mm.
When you look back over your whole career, what do you want your legacy to be?
Um, Basically that I was a role model. I worked hard. I didn't make excuses. I overcame almost every obstacle that was thrown my way, and that I always been a great person and a great role model and inspiration to people, basically.
Awesome, man. Hey, I uh I went to school with you, man. You inspire me now, man, to this
I
day.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a few more questions, man, and we'll
Yeah,
wrap it
sure.
up. So if you were talking to some young people, man, or you were talking to a 17, 18-year-old kids,
Mhm.
what would you have to tell those kids, man?
I would tell them definitely figure out what you want to do in life and what direction you want to go. And once you do figure that out, have goals and plans set in place, and don't let nobody make you deviate for what you want in life. And just work your butt off until you get to that point, and it's not impossible. Because
Okay,
if anything in this world was impossible, other people won't be doing it.
that's true. That is
Yeah,
so true.
yeah.
So true. So what is one moment you can think about in your life that changed you forever? Just one moment that you can think of that kind of just changed you forever.
Honestly, the very first time I walked in the weight room, like that just flipped the switch in me, and made me the person I am today.
Wow, wow, that's amazing, man. That is amazing. So, last but not least, man, if there's anything that you could say to anybody about what you're doing and you want to motivate them, what would you say to motivate them?
That's a good question. Honestly, I would tell them, I said, whatever goal you have in life, or whatever plan you have in life, attack it, and like attack it with everything you have. Don't let nobody tell you it's impossible or you can't do it. Like, don't listen to none of the negativity. Just attack your goals and keep attacking them every single day. And honestly, if you set a goal, be obsessive about it. Like, don't let nobody or nothing tell you that you're not gonna accomplish that goal. Just
Okay,
put all your time, effort, and energy into attacking that goal.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome, man. So I know that you've done all this championship stuff. You did a lot of stuff, man. So what's next in life for you, man? Are you writing a book or doing a movie or what? What's next in life?
Honestly, just now I'm getting really big in the security field, because like now I'm at a point now where me working security, I'm pretty much doing really well with that. I've gotten to the point where I'm making a lot of money doing security. Like, I'm almost at six figures right now, just doing security. So like that's been a huge blessing for me. And also I'm thinking about getting into competition shooting, because like I love shooting and stuff, and it's like I never did, and I love to compete. I'm a very competitive person, so I'm thinking about kind of dabbling into competitive shooting. That might be my next step in life.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
man. Awesome, man. I want to tell all the viewers and everything I hear, man. With this guy right here, you're safe. I promise you.
Oh yeah.
You're safe with this guy.
100%.
Man, I really appreciate having you on the show today, man. And
Oh yeah. Thank you for having
anything
me.
like to close out with, man.
I just like I said, just keep faith in God, and like I said, attack your goals with everything you have.
Awesome, man. Awesome,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's great. Great, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And maybe,
Definitely.
we in sometime, man. That's a great story you told, man.
Yes, sir. And thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No problem, man. No problem. Anytime, man.
Yes,
Anytime.
sir.
All right, to my viewers, man, I'm with Claude Boyer, four-time world champion heavy lifter, and he's a very accomplished guy. And I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. All right, we're out. Thank you.
Okay.